Global Pulse, where we talk how the future will be affected by technology and other. So today I want to talk about how AI is going to change things and how it already is. Like its effect that it's going to have on government, how it's going to change the way we transport things. It's quite amazing. And as far as the uh, the technology behind it, it's relatively simple. And as if a guy like me can understand it, I'm sure I can get you to understand it. And we're gonna give it a try. Anyhow, no one in the chat yet. I don't think anybody's ever going to show up in the chat. But anyways, here we go. AI and its effect on the future. I think right now we see. Oh, first of all, yes, some social proof. I'm Theodore Jacques Lavoie. I wrote a book about how AI is going to affect the future called Apocalypse AI, How Not to Worry About the Future of AI. And I did a lot of research for it. I wrote the AI to help me write it. I used AI to do all the graphics and everything else, including the thumbnail for this. So I like AI pretty much infiltrated my life and my wife also. Um, and our whole family, like we really, I don't use ChatGTP. I like to download my own or either build my own. I built a couple of small, I tried to make a fortune telling one and um, um, a couple of ones. One that, uh, sorry, one that looks for diseased trees. I live in a forest, heavily, a forest industry heavy laden area. Uh, yeah, an area that's heavily laden with forest industry. It's all about the forest industry. Um, so yeah, so I tried to make an app for that. Well, not an app, but an AI for that. Um, and I'm a Python developer, JavaScript developer, a 3D mechanical designer, and I see I'm always watching. I guess I could say an aerospace engineer also. Yeah, it's kind of but I think today that's not so rare today. Like especially in the age of AI, it's going to happen more and more. Like an independent guy like me could create a flying machine. That's crazy. Like I would never have thought of that like 10 years or more like 20 years ago. 10 years ago, I seen it kind of coming in on the horizon. I I I, I I was always watching for the newest 3D graphic program or anything that actually it was Blender. It was open source, and that's all I could afford. So I studied Blender and I learned it, and I used it. I use it quite extensively. I use it every almost. Well, for a while I was using it every day. I don't use it every day so much, but now I've actually learned. I've gone full circle, and I've actually learned how to use Python to to help me enhance my design work in uh, Blender and FreeCAD. Also, I was trained in SolidWorks and AutoCAD, but I like open source, so I just stick with those. That seems to I seem to get by. But okay, and more on the effects of the future is enough about me and my social proof. How the future is going to be affected by AI. Um, well, like I said, my entire family uses it. I believe once it becomes like if you look over anybody's shoulder today on the bus or uh, you just if you just happen to glance at someone's phone or whatever, they usually have like a computer. They have a tab open with ChatGTP in the background. Um, like I said, my family uses ChatGTP. I use a bunch of different ones, and I like to build some of my own. But the fact that I can do that now is incredible, and the fact that with the AI itself helps me code. Like I have AIs that I wrote about 4 years ago, so I've been in it for a while. I'm not just one of these uh, guys that uh, what do we call them? Vibe coder. I've tried it; it's fun, but I find that I can literally tell when someone's vibe coded an app or whatever. Um, and there's a certain level of humanity that you lose in the AI. It's always has that same sort of lime green and dark green panel with a pink and lighter pink panel. It tries to be really colorful, and it ends up looking very juvenile. I find it's kind of has this chalkboard um, kindergarten tasted. That's what it leaves in my mouth, anyways. Um, but it gets a job done. But sometimes the code is really hard. I don't know. It gets really convoluted for me, anyways. I don't know if it uses some special symbols that kind of bury a function in the symbol or something, because sometimes I don't understand it. And basically I can pick up a lot of different types of code even nowadays and understand it, but when it comes to reading AI code, it's really difficult, and it doesn't have the same structure, and it doesn't follow the same structured rules, I guess. Tabs and indentation and whatnot. I tab. um, but yeah, you can really tell when it comes to that kind of uh, work done by the AI. I I find that when there's only so much. It's kind of limited. I tried to make a social dating app that kind of not a social dating app, sorry, a social uh, meeting app that kind of helped people. Uh, if a woman felt that they're kind of needed some not companionship, but more of security. I was thinking it was called Chaperone, and it was an app. And what you would do is you would, if you felt unsafe walking around in a part of the city or something, you could use your phone to get somebody to come and kind of walk you through that part of town or whatever for a fee. Yeah, and I thought maybe it could be where people can meet, because it's so hard to meet people in today's society or whatever. So anyways, well, that I got to a certain point with it, but when I went to go like launch it, it kind of like left. There was a lot of parts that weren't working and features that like it said, yeah, oh yeah, I'll make it so that you can take Stripe accounts and stuff like that. And obviously it didn't. It's like, and I don't think it would be very like. There wouldn't be so much security in that for sure. Anyways, so um, I wasn't too concerned about that. But I find these other people that they jump into this vibe coding thing, and it's kind of like, whoa, I think you should learn the basics first before you can kind of jump in with both feet. Just the basics, a function or how an object works or something. Like not object oriented program, but like how JSON works or something. Because that, you need to know the basics. Or if you don't, you're just kind of even like the basics of VS Code and stuff. I've seen people on VS Code that are vibe coders now, and it's like, whoa, you really have to be careful nowadays, because you don't want to kind of get left out and tagged as a vibe coder. So you're kind of like, oh. I'm a little bit wary of Firebase and stuff like that nowadays. And plus, how easy it is to make a basic website, anyways. It's like there's templates out there and everything. So why would you really like? I don't know. There's nothing new and exciting that an AI does that you can that a regular graphic designer does. Unless you have a spectacular graphic designer or something, it doesn't really make a difference. But anyways, but the thing I find when it comes to vibe coding and code in general is that when you are working on a project, it's hard not to kind of get distracted, and you want to like uh, distracted. How? We know, really? Okay, yeah, no. As far as vibe coding is concerned, it's not one thing that I was excited about it at first, but now it's like, nah. But So yeah, I still continue to learn code. I didn't give up on that. And people are like, "Oh, I give up." No, why? Because there's still going to be you need code in the background. But anyways, yeah, and then you can make your own AIs and make them do the things you want. The thing about AI, and the thing that I really kind of eureka'd on one day was the fact that when they say information is the new oil, and I kept thinking, how is that? How could you like monetize information or whatever? I know the newspaper does it and stuff like that, but not in the same sense as information. Like just like piles and piles of data. Well, now with AI, I understand that data is valuable. It's the oil that runs the machine. So you need that data, and you know, data brokers are living a heyday right now. But it's a shame that we weren't able to wrangle our data from the beginning. That's where my next segue goes to Primal. Primal is a social as a, so, a social media app that runs on Bitcoin. And if you follow the link in my description, you can go there and you can zap people with Satoshis. It's amazing. Anyways, back to AI. Yeah, people with the coding. Geez, I should really have a script. Um, but the reason that I like to continue learning code and stuff like that is like you can make your own and customize things and be a little bit more independent. Um, but the only thing that stops you is that information gate. Like you need to, not like the gated information. You need to get access to that information, and that's where it's a shame that we didn't have our own data kind of wrangling system in the beginning. But I think that that's going to be a big issue in the future. Like your data and content and how to kind of secure it. And I think with Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies and stuff like that, I think that is kind of like the key, or there's a pathway there. Anyways, I'm not sure if it's exact route we should take, but I think that there's definitely path with opportunities that we can look at in that direction. But anyways, Bitcoin is as a whole nother kind of worms we're going to talk about in the future. I started mining in 2013. Someone once said to me, "Oh, AI is going to crack Bitcoin, no problem." And pattern recognition is one thing, and um, weighted distributions are another. But Bitcoin's SHA-256 is one thing, and the elliptical curve is a completely different monster. So I don't think there's any way that AI will do that anytime soon. They say quantum computers. I don't think so either. But quantum computers are probably more likely the culprit of, more likely the one that will do it. But AI, no, it won't. The AI, when you look at it in its simplest terms, it's just a weighted value system, and it's not a word predictor, but something similar to that. It doesn't go much beyond that. And if you really look at it on a code level, it's so incredibly simple. And that's what we're going to look at in the future. Also, I have a couple of what they call them perceptrons. And once you understand a perceptron, the rest of the Legos fall into place. But anyways, I have to go pick up my children from college. Wow, time flies, huh? Anyways, it's been fun. This is so not lethargic, cathartic, lethargic. Anyways, it makes me feel better. I get to talk to somebody. Anyways, yeah, we're going to talk about my VTOL in the future. That's we're just testing things out right now. I'm going to probably get myself a separate channel just for my VTOL. Anyways, that's the global pulse for today, and we might talk to you a little bit later on this evening. But right now, I have to go, and we're going to end the stream. Oh, I don't have any music, but I will. Oh, wait. Yes, I do. You know what? We're going to continue the stream for a minute until I get this organized. Oh, no. I've ruined everything. Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm going to set up this technical part of things. Another interesting fact about me is I used to be in television broadcasting. Um, so yeah, I should have been doing this years ago, but I literally missed the boat of YouTube. I was actually on it for a little while, and I didn't see any value in it. Like not the same type of value that people that went on to become YouTube stars did. So yeah, I was pretty blind and dumb. Anyways, I'm gonna find this audio file that I created with AI. Uh, it's a weird name program, but the computer freeze.